Hello and welcome to my channel. This is Lisa with Lisa's Faith and Budget Planning channel. I'm excited to be here today. I'm excited to be here with you, getting into my sinking funds and closing them out for the month. So I've kind of done a lot of this early this month because I knew I was traveling. I knew a lot of things were going to happen, but I wanted to make sure nothing else was coming out of the sinking funds. Because I was traveling, I thought about using activity funds or kind of rearranging a few things, but I didn't do that. Have enough in the buffer of the checking account because of our tax return, and that is what I'm using in order to pay for my flight this past month and going out to eat and things like that and visiting family and friends. And if you haven't seen my community tab, there's a picture of a little baby. Such cute as a button. I enjoyed seeing my little nephew there. He is so cute. I am Tia. And those are my nephew and nieces, so I got to spend time with them. They're not by blood, they're by friendship and close relationship. So I absolutely adore this family and fell in love with them when I met them through our church that we left a few years ago when we moved. And she had her first baby boy, my friend, and oh my gosh, I am so in love with this child. He's so cute. So I still love his sisters, but man, this kid is so cute. So I'm excited and I am tired. I'm back. So let's see what we got going on. So I know I didn't do anything else. These numbers did not change. And everything. These two hit the credit card because I have them set up to be paid with the credit card. Landfill, which is our trash, it's quarterly. And then Canva is once a year. I adjusted this number. I didn't do this when I filmed last, but I did adjust this number from $10 to $9.40 to bring this at zero, and then I'll start $10 again next month. All my sinking funds are revolving, so I just use my annual or anything that's a bill that's annual or a bill that's quarterly. I find out how much it is for 12 months, or take the total for a year and divide it by 12 if I know the whole total for the year. And then when I get close to the date that it's due, if it's like an odd number, then I might reduce the amount I put into the savings account where my sinking funds are, because only one or two things happen out of here. I put money in and then maybe one or two things will come out. And so when those transfer happens, that's all I really need. So I configured this out. Now I got to do the total. I started with $1,977.41. I did, like I said, I changed this a little bit. This was a reminder to myself that $18.74 went back to the buffer because I changed this, brought that to zero, and changed this and brought this to zero, which I didn't do last time. The total deposits, I transferred $427.93. And then here I'm adding 40 cents to the dividends, and that's what was total deposit into this particular savings account. It doesn't draw a lot of interest. It's not a high yield savings. It's just a basic savings. But this is where I keep these bills that I know I have to pay in the future. And because I know I have to pay it in the future, once a year, quarterly, whatever, or if it's holidays or tax prep or activities or something, where I'm keeping a cushion, I just keep it separate from my checking account, and this way I don't have to add all these to my monthly bills. They're just sitting over here because there's 15 here, I think. So that's a lot. That's a lot to write. So let's see. I did write notes to myself for the month of May. My Apple 360, the monthly, I had it too high. I had to adjust this. And I figured out what it was supposed to be for April, and then I need to make sure in May that I have this amount written down, and then go back to the $30 for the landfill, and then $20 for the Canva, because that's $119 a year. I rounded up to $120, and that's $10 a month. So that's where I get my numbers from. I'm going to kind of move this over here because I don't need that anymore. And we're going to go through and I'm going to total up this. So what I did is I took my beginning balance. I added these monthly recurring amounts, and then I put an ending balance. So I'm going to total this up and be right back.
As a young girl, the fields were mine. We played hide.
Okay, so I have currently in my savings account 2,200. I'm sorry, 2,200. Yeah, and 32 cents. There we go. I saw I checked my app. This number matches. So I'm closing this out exactly the way it's sitting in the the savings account. And then when I go into May, when I make the transfer for the sinking funds, that'll be taken care of for that month. I don't know if I have any transactions in May. Let's check and see. It's a short video. I gotta find those squares. April, May. Okay, Orkin's supposed to come by in May. And I track and write down exactly what I spend for each thing. So Orkin, yep, that's what we're looking at. So that will happen. And hopefully I'm here when they come. And if you're wondering about my voice, I'm a little hoarse today. I've been traveling and I'm tired. I'm kind of worn out. So I have no voice right now. So there's that. Bonus savings tracker. So I want to go ahead and close this out because I know we're not going to get into our savings account. Everything we planned on, we are doing. So here I have my 12-month emergency fund. And I know that looks low for a 12-month. It looks like a 6-month. But a 12-month emergency fund for me is what my husband's take-home pay is, basically. Or what we need to do that. So let's see what this is for 12 months. 2,952. See if I'm on the right track still. Yes, $2,421. That's just under what my husband actually brings home. He brings over, let's see, last paycheck it was $1,315. So this is perfect. This is my husband's take home. A little less than his take home, but not a problem. I can add more to this if I want to. And I have all these other amounts. So, but this is basically all we really need in an average month for us to go for a year to supplement what my husband's military retirement check comes in, and when his disability check comes in, and then one of my sons pays rent. So because of those 3 income streams, in addition to the salary, if we lose the salary, we're not going to lose these other 3. So I based it off of what this is. Everybody's situation is unique and different. Not everybody has extra regular monthly deposits coming in. So that's why I have it this way. So we did nothing here, and we're going to keep it at $29,052. So right now it's in a high yield savings account with my Navy Federal account, but I am considering moving this into a different high yield savings, a better high yield savings. Yeah. So yeah, that's what I'm thinking about. My husband has been talking and setting up his former Roth IRAs and stuff like that, or not Roth IRAs, Roth 401ks that he had in a previous companies that he's worked for, and combined into one investment. So he's done that. And then when he talked to, it's actually a friend of ours, he works for Edward Jones, but he mentioned a high yield savings, that they had that available, and I was like, to put our emergency fund in. I'm like, that's interesting. So you may see us change that and go from there. When my husband got his bonus, I moved over $4,000 for our vacation this year. And then let's see. All right, so what we have here, this is the original beginning balance on the first day of April, $7,634.57 in our savings for the home fund. So the home is our actual home projects. And I want to go back here and show you where I made a transaction. Let's see here. where does 1,500 came from? All right. So where did it come from? Okay. So when I did paycheck 2, it says MMA. This is money market account. That's all it means. And I transferred $1,500 left over after we paid the check to the last check to have our siding done on our house to the contractor. So once that was done, I had moved over $10,000 in March, and then I moved over $5,074 in April, forgetting I already had $1,500 sitting in the checking account. So I left it there until I knew the check was going to clear and everything went fine. Check cleared, paycheck 2, I decided to move the money back, this $1,500 I had left over, back into our savings for the home projects. And that is that number right there. Now that $5,074 is part of that, but also, let's see, 5,074 was the siding that I moved over. I really didn't need to move that much over. I just wasn't thinking. I just saw the bill and moved it over. And then there was $115 I also transferred over from this account because my husband locked himself out of his truck and he's trying to get that reimbursed. He had to call a locksmith, and that was $245, I think. And there was, let's see. So that's a total between, I only needed $115 moved over to the checking account. So that's the two of those combined. You can look back at my paycheck 2. I explained the whole truck thing, and you can check that video out there. And so let's do the math. $7,634.57 plus the $1,500 minus the $5,189, and that still leaves me with $3,945.57. So this is a high yield savings account, not as high as like SoFi and Ally and other things. This is my brick and mortar bank, even though I don't have one near me. I just like it where I can move it really quick. Like there's no processing time. There's not a 24, 48 hour processing time. But I'm thinking about putting most of the emergency fund into a high yield savings with Edward Jones, depending on their amount. It does take a 24-hour processing time for it to count in my bank, but I might do everything but 1 month. And then once I get that, know what's going on, if our circumstances change, that 1 month will be sitting in the Navy Federal account, and everything else I have time to move over. So that is my thought process on that. We still have not got the car part yet. I don't know what's taking so long. We need to call these people back. It's a $700 car part that I put aside, and it hasn't happened. So did not take anything out for a Roth IRA. This is I'm saving it in my money market account, letting it accrue interest. $200 is what I have right now. Had $100 last month, $100 this month. At the end of the year, I'm going to do $1,000 because I already have $7,000 in my Roth IRA, and that $7,000 is there to.
For hours, raised our shadows among the pines. So offshore, playful and free, without a care.